My name is Chris Coggins. I'm the managing partner of the tax office. We're an accounting firm in Northern California, and primarily doing tax preparation and write-up for small business clients.
Why did you decide to try TouchStone?
Well, for years we have been struggling with different processes in our business. We've tried various methods of trying to get them written and incorporating them into some kind of a book of how we do it. And we struggled with that, to say the least. And one of the member organizations that we belong to, Principa, offered a webinar in processes where you spoke. You talked about difficulties within doing this for a business and gave some pretty good solutions to overcome the problems that we've had. And then you also offered a tool to do that. We said, okay, well, this is pretty good, so we decided to look at it a little bit further. And we were quite amazed that indeed it was a tool that we could use to not only help us write the processes. In some cases, they were already written for us. We just had to tweak them a little bit. But it was a way that we were able to put it together in a way that we never were able to do it before, which was more of a top-down approach rather than the bottom-up approach, which is, I guess, what we had always done before.
So can you describe a little bit more about the problems that you had before TouchStone in trying to systematize your business?
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with just the overall enormity of it. When you start the project, where do you start? And we'd start listing things, but we didn't really understand that it was a position-driven type of a thing, and it was fragmented and difficult to say, okay, what process do we need for this, or what process do we need for that, and then we would just get frustrated about it, and then I think in most cases then we'd just give up. We weren't having the success that we wanted, and we weren't getting any kind of rewarding for it, and so we just give up, or the staff would give up because they weren't basically seeing any results. And then sometimes we'd get a process written and put it up on the shelf, and there was no way to have anybody see it or read it, and as things changed over time, then those processes never got updated, and then you'd look at them and you'd look at it and you say, well, no, this is not how we do this, and then again, then that would lead to more frustration.
Talk a little bit about the process you went through, because you engaged in what we call the Business Builders Program. What was it like? How much work did you have to do at your end? And I do want to mention for those who are listening to this conversation that you are a CPA firm and you went through this process in August, September, October timeframe, probably one of the busiest times of the year for you. And one of the things I always say is that there's never a good time to systematize a business. So talk a little bit about your experience, Chris.
Well, we did make it as a partner-driven project, decided that we needed to do something. And we saw the possibility that TouchStone, provided to say, okay, yeah, I think we can get some success here. We kept seeing progress, and that kept feeding it. We'd get excited, and then we could keep going. We started again with the top. You had us develop a strategic target and the vision and the measurements for those, and then you had us create the organizational chart. And from that, we started seeing positions that we never even knew we needed. We were doing, but we really didn't identify the position. And then from that, it was easier then to start building those processes and then assigning those processes to those individual positions. And we have the framework now where we can start prioritizing them and then ultimately working. We have already started on that, but working on getting them actually written and implemented. Actually, we decided to listen to ourselves, what we tell our clients, what they should be doing. We decided to do it ourselves. And it all started with that strategic target and being able to understand that. We would probably put in maybe 4 hours a week, and I'd put in a few hours, and my partner Keith would put in a couple of hours, and one of the other partners, Patrick, would put in a couple of hours. And then we started again making progress. And then we got excited, and we started putting in even a little bit more time than that. I don't know if it was necessary, but we just started doing it, and then that opened up other doors, and we started accomplishing other things that we had not even planned on.
So that's interesting. So as a result of engaging in the program became a catalyst for you doing even more work on the business. How does it feel?
I've been in business 30 years, but I've never actually had a clear understanding and a goal than we do right now. Next week we have our annual partners retreat, and we're going to be presenting our strategic target, the measurements and the goals and the job descriptions, which we never have had before because we've actually never developed them. And now we have a hiring plan. We have a salary range that we never had before because you had us work on that to make sure that the plan would even work. And so we have all these tools now that we've never had before that we're able to present to the other partners, and I think they'll be excited about it as well. And I think, like I say, we actually now have a clear path to reach and goals to reach, and I believe we will reach them. And they're lofty goals as well.
They're good goals. They're realistic. We proved that.
Yes, and I've looked at it from several angles, and we definitely can reach them.
You are a CPA firm, and you do business development work, strategic work with clients. Are you planning to use this tool and what you've learned with your clients?
Oh, definitely. We've already started on a couple of them, talking to them about, the processes and the success that we've had. I think probably more than anything, we're a firm of individuals that have to believe in something to really be able to communicate that effectively, and we do believe in this now. And even though we always knew that working on your processes were critical to a firm or a company, we just never really had a true way of doing it. That was definitely a proven success, and now we have that.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things we call TouchStone an actionable tool, where it's not just theory anymore. You're taking action, and people see results. So would you recommend this program?
Wholeheartedly.
And why?
Because it works. There are many tools out there for businesses that frankly don't work. You can write all day about how important something is, but if you don't give them a way of actually implementing it and the tools to implement it, then what happens is that they end up going on it in all these different ways and tangents, and then they don't see the success, and then they easily get frustrated, and then they give up. Almost every business will say, I wish I had my processes written, and some of them actually do, but the ones that are using in a format that TouchStone provides, where you're interactively involved in it, I think is ultimately the success. And we see it, and we definitely believe in it.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time today, Chris.